Hello, my name's John. This is the Necromunda Beastmaster and Wasteland Giant Rats, and you're watching Wargames Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be having a look at the new Necromunda Beastmaster and Giant Rats that you can buy from Warhammer. Now, I love the old models from the 90s for the Beastmasters and the Giant Rats. Once I've made these, I'm going to compare them to the ones that I've got. The other thing I'm going to talk about is, are they worth it for the price they are? The Outland Beastmaster is £30 and the Giant Rats are £20. Quite expensive kits. But to start with, I'm going to open them up, going to start building them, and then we'll have a look at them. Okay, let's start with the Beastmaster. So we get the little rules cards, some instructions on there which we'll have a look at. Now these are what is now known as the expert kits from Warhammer. Once upon a time they were Forge World, not too long ago. So let's have a look. Let's separate these items up. Okay. So first thought, looking at the casts of these, they are really quite nice casts. There's a few risers that I need to trim off on the model itself. If you don't know what a riser is, it's this. Let me zoom in so you can see this rather than me pointing randomly. There we go. A riser is these little sections here that allow the air to move through the mould as it's being filled with resin. But yeah, they're quite nice. Yeah, it's a good quality. Right, let's start with the Beastmaster. Let's just get all the parts for that. Okay, let's start trimming it and cleaning it up. So while I'm making this, let's have a talk about the expert kits from Warhammer. So because it's all now on one website to get the stuff from Warhammer, you no longer have the separate Forge World things, Black Library and that kind of thing. They do exist still, but they are now part of the one website rather than separate websites. Now, I've always loved Forge World models. I like working with the resin models. They're up to their quality in recent years, which is great. But at the same time, they've also upped their price. And I'm in the lucky situation where I can save for a little bit and buy the odd one or two Forge World models. But are they worth it anymore? It's a really tricky one. 2 model kits for £50 is a lot of money, and knowing how much resin costs and how much mould making is and that kind of thing, I can understand why they would be a bit more expensive, but it kind of prices a lot of people out of getting them as part of their hobby. And I'm not sure if I like that. I love the models and the quality is great, but I don't like the increased price thing. But that's, I think, it's Games Workshop all over, Warhammer all over. You've got a lot of things cost a lot more now, and it's unfortunately now, because of shareholders and things like that, it does mean they're looking at the profit compared to the end user, which is a real shame. But I still like the products, and buying them. Whether that exacerbates the problem, who knows? Well, it does, because they know that it can sell them for that much, because people are willing to buy them. But it is a shame, the price of them, because it does, like I said, mean that some people can't have access to them. What I would say though, and it's something that I'm an advocate for, is use proxy models. If you can't get the actual Warhammer models, use ones that look similar, or you can say, yep, this is a such and such model, or whatever. It's, if someone who you're playing against doesn't like that, I don't know whether you want to play against them. If they're going to be that strict with it, it's a hobby. You want to have fun. But yeah, it's I don't like talking about the negative stuff too much. Life's too short for that, but it is a shame that they are so expensive. And in my last video, when I was making some of the new Delac stuff, I talked about when people complain so much and don't do anything about it. And at the moment, no, I'm not doing anything about it. I'm buying it and I'm making it. But it does make me think, with my skill set and what I do for a living, whether I should start actually making my own miniatures. And coming up with those proxy models that would allow people to use them for other things. So it's something that I'm going to start considering, and sketch out a few ideas and work out how to do it on, for one thing, a budget, but then also to be able to pass a high quality item at a lower price as possible, so it enables other people to kind of get it. We'll see. Hopefully down the line I'll be able to do something. I've got a few ideas already which I'm going to start working on. Yeah. Well, I've rambled for a bit while I've been doing this, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed up the video to the point where I've cleaned all of these items up. Okay, so I've cleaned those up, and relatively easy. Few little bits here and there that I still need to kind of work on, but I just want to get them stuck together to see what these ones look like. So let's start with the Beastmaster. And since my last video, I've still got to pick up some more thicker super glue, so hopefully this will be okay as it all goes together. And straight away I've seen I've missed a little bit just there. That's okay. So I do like the aesthetic of the Necromunda miniatures. That kind of post-apocalyptic look I always have found quite interesting. And this particular Beastmaster's quite a nice sculpt. So you can see there's just a giant rat skull for their headdress, their hat. And at some point I'm going to enjoy painting this. I tend to go in kind of stages of doing a lot of making and conversions and then painting and that kind of thing. So you'll probably find that when you watch the videos on the channel that it'll have a period of time where it's just making things, followed by a period of time of painting and that kind of thing. And I've got quite a lot to put together and paint at the moment, so we'll see what the next series of videos ends up being. That isn't. Let's put a little bit more glue on there. So one thing I've noticed with this model, something like the cape, you want to put that on before you put the shoulder pad on, because that kind of locks it in place as well. But while I'm holding that, I'm going to put this little bionic arm on. And now that's on, let's put that shoulder pad on. So I do find that depending on the model that I'm making, I do get quite impatient sometimes putting things together, and I won't always wait till glue's dried and that kind of thing before I start sticking things on. That's just the way that I work with these things. Actually, that is a bit of an awkward. Okay. Ah, there we go. So that's pushed that in place. Let's get this. See if I can get this arm in underneath. Because the seams where the cape join aren't 100% flush with the body, the super glue's not really working as well as it could do. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave that for a bit to let that go off, and I'm going to start working on the giant rat. So there's probably a few bits that I will need to clean up afterwards. It's a nice model, this one, but yeah, it's I don't like talking negatively too much in my videos, but the price of the models, yeah, it's a real shame at the moment that they are kind of going up that much, but it is a sign of the times. At the moment, like I said, I'm in the lucky situation where I can buy these models. I don't get any of them given to me. I used to like the idea of possibly trying to be affiliated and getting things, but as I've grown older, I've gone off that idea. It's always nice to get free stuff, no doubt, but I kind of like the idea of being able to say what I want about the things, positive and negative. And yeah, like I've said in this video, one of the big negatives at the moment is price. Okay, so that goes. Let's set that aside while I. Alright, how does that go on there? Needs a little bit more stuff cleaning off this. I've just realised I haven't been looking up at the camera, so hopefully I've been on camera while I've been doing all of this. If I haven't, apologies. But I'd love to hear in the comments actually what are your favourite Necromunda models, whether they are the old Forge World ones or the new advanced model ones, oops, or what is your favourite model in general? And if you could, this is always a good way, if you could, which model would you really want to have? But like I've said in this video, the price of it kind of makes it out of your league. I've got one particular one which I kind of have decided to start saving up for, and only for a collector's piece, because I don't play the Lord of the Rings Warhammer game, but I do love the Smaug model, but it is super pricey, so that is definitely a save up and get model, or get it from another retailer who does slight discounts, which is always another option, but unfortunately not all the models are available on those. If that was the case, I would be using that for a lot more models than I currently do. Yeah, I do need to get some better super glue. Have anyone got any recommendations for super glue? I personally don't like to use Kicker with super glue, just because of what it does to you over time. And where I work, it's not something that we want to have around. Okay, last bit, the tail on this one. I'm going to let that dry for a bit before I put the tail on. Let's get back to the Beastmaster themselves. And where's the hand? Okay, so I may have, let's have a quick look at the picture. I may have put the arm at a slightly wrong angle. That doesn't matter, it just means it's a slightly different model now. So I think if I was putting this together again, I'd stick the kind of the spear onto the hand first. Oh. Get that in place and hold it. Although I do quite like the way that it's gone. Okay, while that is just going off, so this is the drawback, because I put the arm in a slightly wrong direction. The bottom of the spear is lower than the foot. So what I'm going to need to do is stick it on the base in a way where it's stepping over the edge. I don't mind that. I quite like the idea of breaking the fourth wall of a miniature's base. So having it stepping off the base or interacting with the edge of the base, that kind of thing. Okay, that's okay. Well, yeah, this super glue isn't the best. Hey ho. And I went out shopping this morning and I saw some and I thought, oh, I could get that. And I didn't. Right, I need to put this against something. Let's get the super glue lid. And just, right, a bit more super glue on that base. I do like working with plastic just because you can use the plastic cement. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's there. That's okay. That's held in place. stick this down onto the base as well. Well, that hasn't gone off. Okay. What I'm going to do is leave those to dry for a while, and off camera I'm going to make the other giant rats, and then we'll come back and have a look at them all complete. Okay, so I've put all of the giant rats together. Very fiddly, this kit in places, and a few things didn't quite stick together how I'd expected them to. Also, there's a lot of things that did break off, so things like the spike from that shoulder pad, the end of the tail of this rat, and a few other little details. I'm going to have to do some sculpting and things on them. What I want to do is quickly compare them to the original giant rats from Necromunda in the 90s, which I have just here. So just grabbing this one for now. We'll do a comparison, so the spiky one to the spiky one. You can see that the size of the new ones is obviously a lot bigger. I do love the old original ones, but the new ones, the sculpts are lovely, but the build is a bit of a pain. But yeah, there's a comparison of those ones. Let's grab another one. Let's go for this double-tailed one to this one running. So yeah, you can see that size difference. I also want to compare the giant rat that you used to get with Inquisitor, which is a similar sort of scale to these rats. So comparing it to the two-headed rat that comes with the Beastmaster, you can see they're actually a similar size, even though this one's a little bit thinner. But I think when painted up, they're all going to work really nicely together. Now, I want to talk about this kit for a little bit. Already, I've mentioned the cost. I really like these models for the look. The sculpts are really nice and everything like that. The building, not as enjoyable as other kits. I am going to have to do quite a bit of filling here and there and sculpt a few details back in and that kind of thing. For value, I would say actually they are too expensive. The Beastmaster and the two-headed giant rat coming in at £30, I probably think you should knock about a £5 off that. So tops £25 for those two. And then the two giant rats, I don't think £20 is the right sort of price. I think, again, drop a £5, drop by £15. But obviously, I'm not the one who chooses the prices. I do, like I said, love these models for the look. They look really good. But you can make your own mind up on exactly whether they're worth it or not. I will get to a point now where I'm going to tidy these up with green stuff and things, and then start painting them up. So I'll probably do a video when I paint them. It might be a little while because I've got quite a few other things that I'm working on at the moment. But to sum it all up, positive, really lovely models, look nice, really would add a really nice kind of characterful thing to a gang whilst playing. Negatives, price, and some of those fiddly little bits broke off. But other than that, I think you can make your own choice up about whether they're worth it or not. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please, if you've got anything to add, drop a comment. But for now, stay tuned for the next video. My name's John, and you've been watching Wargames, Models, and Other Hobbies.